to our final segment of Sumner County Media Days. We're here for the last hour and a half at Birdie Bros in Hendersonville. Thank you so much to Main Street Media TV for helping us out throughout this. It's felt like a couple of days. I mean, it's been a 3-day ordeal. We're nearing 14 hours of high school football and fall sports content here in Sumner County. So glad to bring it to you. Thank you to our sponsors, Volunteer Fence, K1 Speed, the Farmers Bank, Steve Schrum, Simply Home Real Estate. Once again, on Main Street Prep's Northcentral Regional Sports Editor Blaine Kellar. Glad to bring the best for last, some might say, James Beasley, and the Hendersonville Commandos would debate that. Coach Beasley, thank you so much for coming on and for previewing your club for us this fall.
Yes, sir. Thank you for hosting this and putting the local high schools and the local public high schools on this show here. So we appreciate the coverage, and hopefully we get people to want to come out and watch us play this fall.
Oh, what's new with Hendersonville? Let's start with that.
I don't know if there's anything really new. We've been around for a long time, and we continue to try to work hard and hopefully have a good competitive team this year, and looking forward to that. So, yeah.
Last season, you guys had the task of replacing a ton of talent, namely in quarterback Mason Baker. Came out and succeeded really well at that. Produced a 7-4 record, reached the playoffs, fell to Southwind in the first round, but I think it speaks to your culture that both you and Hendersonville have built, that even when a massive talent exits, players can come in, fill in, and have success.
Yeah, I don't think it's me. I think it's our program and our school and the kids that we have playing for us. I mean, just good guys that work hard and try to do things the right way, and that's what we try to instill. So we're just picking up from previous coaches and previous teams and trying to build on that and do as good as we can with the players that we get each year. And Mason, phenomenal player. Looking forward to watching him play at Navy over the next 4 years. Really excited about that, and what a great kid and a great family. His brother's going to be a senior at Tennessee Tech this year. So we're just love to have those guys that came through our program and had success with us, and then going on to the college level and doing a great job. So just awesome things with our program and guys moving on past here and having success there, and most importantly that they're going to college and they're going to get a degree, and they're going to have doors open for them as they move forward, as they try to get jobs and be good people as men.
Absolutely, and you see that across the board. You mentioned Torrin Baker, Mason's brother. Ellis today named a United Athletic Conference preseason all-conference player. How special has it been to coach talents like that these past couple of years, even most recently with Riley and Cooper Jordan, some record-setting receivers and running backs that you had?
Yeah, I mean, we could go on for a long time about some of the players that we have playing right now. Ellis was a phenomenal athlete, and it's awesome watching him at Austin Peay doing a great job, and Brent Rowe, and Luke Manning's continues quarterback career. And Jack Busey, I think, was an All-American last year at Campbellsville.
Yes.
And the Cooper and Riley, both of them going to play in college. Riley playing football and Cooper playing basketball, but Riley at Carson Newman, and their coaching staff seem really excited to get him up there and see what he can do at the receiver position for Carson Newman. So it's just great, and we hope that we get more of those guys continue, because we hopefully prepare them for this, and the ones that have had that opportunity, I think are ready for the academic part of it, because our school, the teachers at our school, the administration at our school, Dr. Sawyer's, we had a new AD last year, John Massey, and they do a great job of keeping up with these kids, making sure that they're being held accountable in the classroom as well as at practice. So just great job with all this, and love to watch these guys go on and be successful. And I love seeing them come back to the facility and say something to our players sometimes, or just be around. It's good. We had this week, Dwayne Dotson came by practice one day, and he's probably one of the top players to come out of all of Sumner County in history, So, yeah, it's awesome to see him be around, and those guys are always welcome, any former player, to our facility, and we like to keep that open for them anytime they want to.
Dwayne had his jersey retired from Hendersonville, I think, 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, so it maybe not retired, may not be the right word, but basically, yeah, he's the greatest player that we've ever had, and he deserves all the recognition and credit that he gets, and was drafted in the NFL. Just awesome. I remember as a kid when I was growing up here and seeing Dwayne play in high school and college, and watching him on TV and being like, that guy played at the school I'm going to, and it was such an awesome thing. So any credit, recognition he gets is well deserved and needs to be appreciated by our school, and I love our players get to be around him a little bit just to see what it's like, that a kid from Hendersonville can go on and achieve those goals if they have the talent and they work hard along with it and put in what it takes. So yeah, just great to have him around and all of our former players, really.
Yeah, what message did he give to your players when he did visit?
He just talks about being there for each other and being good teammates and putting in the work that it takes. It's not going to be given to you, so you have to work, you have to be dedicated, committed. I guess maybe some of the coach speak. He did coach football for a little bit too, so and I think he's a really good softball coach. Although
I've heard he's a photographer. John Decker back there said Dwayne's a really good softball player too.
Yeah, maybe. yeah. Maybe we need to start an alumni softball team and get that going around here.
What position would you play?
They probably have me as manager in the dugout.
We're talking with Hendersonville head coach James Beasley on Sumner County Media Days. We talked a little bit about the past. Let's go ahead and talk about the team that you've got coming up on the field. A couple of guys that we'll talk to here in a second. Part of those next generation of players, so to speak, last season, and we'll have more of an opportunity this year. Talk to us a little bit about Ford Proctor, a little bit about Michael Walker as well.
Yeah, 2 upcoming seniors for us, had great seasons last year. Mike, he's a defensive lineman for us, played a lot of defensive line for us last year. And we kind of been moving him around a little bit too much on offense, but we settled in at putting him at tight end for this season. So he played that in the spring, stayed there, and looking forward to him being a force on both sides of the ball, up front. And he's a big, strong kid, and the thing that I've noticed most about Mike in this offseason is his maturity and his commitment to the team, to his teammates. His work ethic has went up this offseason, and he's doing a great job of being a leader and holding his teammates accountable up to the standard that we want, and that now it's obvious that he's showing that this is the expectation for our team. And you got to meet that expectation, and he doesn't seem to be afraid to let guys know when they're not meeting that expectation. So the maturity level and his leadership ability has really went up. So seems like he's more focused at meetings, at practice. He's locked in on what we're trying to do. And this is hard for these kids. They're teenage boys. So it doesn't come natural for them to just lock in and stay focused for an extended period of time at this age. So he's been able to do that better, and I hope it continues. I hope he continues to not be afraid to let his teammates know if they're not holding up their end, or not adhering to the standard that we set at Hendersonville High School for everything that we do. And then obviously his play, I can't wait to get in pads next week and watch him at practice, because I think that's going to go up a notch this fall as well, where he knows that, like going through the motions is not going to make you a great player. So I expect to see him really come on and do a great job with that. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about Michael Walker right now, and obviously he's here. You're going to get to talk to him yourself and let him answer any questions you want to ask him. But great kid, awesome personality, matured a lot, and been a great leader for us.
And on the other side of that, Ford seems to maybe be a guy who could fill in to replace some production in that running back room.
Yeah, Ford played a lot last year in that running back room, and he played a lot in the defensive secondary. So different type of player. He's not going to be down there putting his hand on the ground like Mike is, but tough, physical kid that can run. So he's played a lot of corner for us. And then we had Cooper last year, phenomenal player,
right.
And so Ford would spell him when needed or when we wanted a change in there. So Ford, a leader for us as well, and had a really good season. Can do a lot of things. Can return. He can be in the return game. You put him all over. He can play receiver some, play running back some. Just got a lot of versatility with him, and I think he likes being here because I'm pretty sure he's like a pretty good golfer too. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you a good golfer?
No,
I don't golf at all.
No, I'm not a good golfer.
Talking with Hendersonville coach James Beasley on Sumner County Media Days. Sounds like there's some trivia going on behind us too here at Birdie Bros, judging by the sounds of it. Interesting golf, trivia, football, there's everything happening here. Got an hour and a half to come check it out before we wrap up Media Days for this week. Coach, last year you had Caleb Sams as your quarterback. He really shined in his 1 year at the helm. Can you kind of reflect on the ability, maybe the mental toughness or kind of aptitude it took for him to step into that role and thrive right away?
Yeah, he had been with us, so he had played that position for us. He played in several games in the seasons before that. So it wasn't like he was a new kid that came in and knew nothing and played. But Caleb did a great job for us at quarterback. Obviously Mason had a big arm, big, strong, physical kid, and Caleb built just a little bit different, but was just as fearless. Like running the ball and being able to throw the ball where we wanted it, when we wanted it. Did a great job, being tough and running our offense the way that we needed him to run the offense. So yeah, Caleb, great kid. It's going to be hard to replace him. We got a battle going on, but two quarterbacks right now that's looking to take over that spot. And it's always hard in high school. Well, you always feel a little bit more comfortable when you got a quarterback that played for a year before it, and that he's going to step in and be the guy again for you the next year. So replacing that is always a little bit difficult, but we'll figure it out, and we still got several weeks here before August 22nd, and hopefully we get some answers between now and then, and we're ready to go, and like I said, hopefully field a competitive team out there.
You spoke of the attitude that Caleb had last season. I'm sure that's something you want to see in either one of those guys, no matter who wins the battle, that they kind of embrace that same mindset that Caleb had and that certainly Mason had before him.
Yeah, just can't be tentative. You gotta run the offense, and you gotta be able to not be scared to make a mistake. Do the things that we're asking you to do. It, time to throw the ball, throw the ball. It's time to run the ball, run the ball. It's time to hand the ball off, hand the ball off. And don't try to do too much. But we got 11 players out there for a reason. It's a team game. Like, I understand that at the end of the game, Blaine's going to come up and probably give the credit to the quarterback if we win and give the blame to the quarterback if we lose. That's human nature, right, in media, right? The quarterback gets all this and that. But it's a team game, so we're all in this together. And they just can't try to do too much. They need to execute the things that we're asking them to do in the way that we're asking them to do it.
Speaking on those guys in particular, Christopher Jordan saw some run for you last season in kind of a wing tee set. How has that experience helped him through the spring and the summer, having just a couple of snaps of varsity experience compared to zero?
Yeah, I think he got some snaps last year and the year before. I think he got a few series when he was a freshman on the varsity team in some big time games. So I think it helps you relax a little bit and not be nervous when you get in there, because that's a nerve-wracking position to play. I think at quarterback, partly because everybody looks to you. You're touching the ball every time. You're making the offense go, and when you look at colleges or NFL, that's the first guy everybody talks about. So it just makes it a little bit more nerve-wracking for you. But, Chris's dad was the quarterback for Hendersonville when he played, too. So he's got that experience to lean on and talk to about some of those things and the nerves that you go through, and having to relax and calm the team down and not get too excited when you make a good play and not get too disappointed or upset when you make a bad play. So, I think getting in there a little bit can always help you moving forward.
You like his ability as a runner?
Yeah, I love his ability as a runner.
The other quarterback who moved in from, was it Colorado?
Yes.
Last summer or a little bit before then, Hugo Minor.
Yeah.
What have you learned about Hugo in the time that he's been in your program?
That he wants to play, and he doesn't matter where, and he's not scared to play any position that we put him at. And he loves it. You know, he's wanting to get in. You know, he'll get in there. He doesn't mind getting in on scout team and mixing up. He doesn't mind playing defense at defensive end or linebacker. You know, he's a tough kid and wants to contribute a lot. Obviously, they both want to be the quarterback, you know, for most of the game, but we'll see how that goes. You know, they're both working to that, but they both want it, and that's what you want as a coach. You want your players to have that drive to work and to practice the way that they need to in order to win a job or to get a chance to be out there on Friday nights.
Another player I wanted to ask you about was somebody you had lined out wide in some 7-on-7 work a year ago, a basketball star for the Hendersonville team, Weston Hall.
Yeah.
How do you utilize a player who is really a skilled player for the basketball team and has the size to play, a high level for football as well?
Yeah, I think he can kind of do it all in basketball. He's got a lot of talent there, and he's got a great build for a football player. So it's obviously two different sports, and we're gonna try to give him opportunities to take advantage of his abilities on the football field. And he's got the height and worked hard this offseason, been getting stronger, and hopefully comes back and a little bit more physical on the field playing football than in basketball. I'm pretty sure he's pretty physical in basketball, but it's different when you got pads on, and guys are running faster. You just got to get used to it. And he'd been out for a little bit last fall, so getting him back in there in the spring, starting to get used to it, getting a little more confidence with his pads and hitting and running through tackles, and not being like knowing that you go to catch a ball, like they're not just gonna not touch you when you're going up for it. So we obviously want to use that big frame some and try to get the ball to him and let him have opportunity to make some plays.
His dad is the basketball coach, right?
Correct.
So another weapon that you guys might be able to use, whether that's offense or defense. One piece I wanted to ask, kind of pry a little bit more. Michael Walker, defensive lineman. Brock Murray, defensive lineman as well?
Yes, sir.
So it feels like you've got a little bit of some stoutness in the trenches coming back for this season.
Well, we got a little bit of experience. Hopefully they perform at the level that we think they're able to, and continue that throughout a game. We definitely have some guys. Michael had some experience on defensive line. Brock had some experience on the defensive line. Tegan Parisic and Colt Patterson both got a lot of reps in the trenches last year as well, and they've all been working hard to prepare for this. So looking forward to watching those guys perform, and hopefully take that step to being a better player this year, and coming off the ball and exploding into it the way that we need to and want to teach people.
And again, Hendersonville had a good year last year, but it was a lot of newness for some of those guys. Did that year kind of turn into maybe just knowing that the physicality of the game, knowing what it's going to be like on a Friday night, knowing what the varsity competition is going to be, what it takes to compete at that level in that plane?
Yeah, I think all those things, just the experience kind of leads to all that. So when you get yourself in there, before you play in a varsity game and you play middle school and freshman football, you don't, you just, it's different when you get to the varsity level of football, and it does take some time to get used to it. No different than a kid moving from high school to college. Like that's a big jump, and it takes some time for those guys most of the time to get used to it. I mean, every now and then we get a kid, like we talked about ourselves earlier, came in as a freshman and, was ready to go. Go out there and make plays right away. But most kids, you got to get the nerves out and hit somebody, figure out, like these guys are big, they're strong, they're gonna come hit me hard, and I got to be prepared for that. So.
One more player to ask about, and then we'll touch on your schedule a little bit. Aiden Meadows, tell me about him. He's another basketball kid. He's got some serious length, and it seems like these last 2 years he's really picked up a grasp of the game.
Yeah, I mean, just awesome kid. Aiden is a great leader, positive. I don't know if I've seen him ever get on to a teammate negatively. It's always positive talk with him, and that we need more of that. We need more guys encouraging their teammates in a positive manner, and recycling that positive energy amongst each other in our team, because it's hard. Football's hard to do, especially. It seems like it's harder now than it used to be, but maybe that's just because I'm getting old. But it's a hard thing to say. I'm gonna commit and be on this football team and play throughout the season, because you're hot, you're outside, you're getting yelled at, and you're having to run, you're having to work out, you're getting exhausted, you got to keep going. But Aiden does a great job. He's like Ford, he can play multiple positions on both sides of the ball. We've played him in probably, you're likely to see him in all parts, all positions in our defensive secondary this fall at different times throughout the season, because of his versatility, and same thing on offense. Like, he may run the ball and hand off sometimes, and we may throw it to him sometimes. So great kid. Love him. Look forward to watching him play this fall. He got his feet wet last year as a sophomore, and he should really take that next step this year.
A few more for Hendersonville football coach James Beasley on Sumner County Media Days. Let's talk your schedule a little bit. I'm really intrigued by this Smyrna game. It's not a team you see a whole lot of Sumner County teams line up with. Of course, the headliner is Page, getting to go up against the 4-time runner-up. But what made you schedule Smyrna?
Well, I think the headliner is Gallatin, because that's who we
That's
play first.
week one. That's week one. Yeah.
So we hadn't really looked much past that. But, we got quality opponents on our schedule from top to bottom, just about. But, yeah, of course, I know Page is 5A. They've been to the state championship. They're the standard of 5A teams in the mid-state right now, to be honest. And that's where we want to be. So, when you schedule games like that, this is where we got to get to, guys, whatever it is. And hopefully we go out there and compete with them and have a great game, and we know where we're at, But after that game, you feel like you're going to know where you stand. I think the rest of our non-region opponents are all 6A teams. And then we got Page as the 5A team. But Smyrna, Coach Williams does a great job over there, and it just worked out that they had a game. They needed a game win. We needed a game, So a lot of this
with you guys a little bit.
Well, his brother, who coaches with him now, was the Gallatin coach for a long time. So obviously we knew them, and we played Smyrna a lot of years in a row. I can't remember the years, but like from probably 2002 or something like that, all the way up until like 10, and then we scrimmaged them several times. So we've been around them, and we played them in the playoffs a couple of years ago as well. Yeah, they got a solid program. We know it's going to be competitive. We know they're going to have a good team, and we want our kids to experience games like that against quality opponents. But the way they do the schedules, it just kind of makes it. You have to kind of find what you can find.
That's what I've heard. Going through these media days.
It can be a difficult thing to get the non-region games done, and sometimes you think you're going to have one worked out, and it doesn't work out, and then you're scrambling to try to find somebody else. So we're not the only ones that are scrambling to find somebody, and we find Smyrna or we find Page. They're looking for a game. And they're like, okay, it may not be our first choice, but it doesn't really matter.
Good competition.
Yeah, we'll play. We'll play anybody that's willing to play it.
One interesting nugget that I picked up from Gallatin coach Michael Straub yesterday. We'll talk about that week one game a little bit. He said really complimentary of your team, of you, and in turn with that saying it doesn't really feel like a rivalry to him. Now, on the field, he said, yeah, it's a rivalry. Outside of it, those are great guys, and he has a lot of respect for you guys. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the feeling is mutual for the most part. You know, Gallatin, just the whole program in Gallatin, we respect them. You know, it's always been a great competitive game. Well, not competitive the whole time. If we go back to the beginning, you know, they kind of got the better of us quite a few times early on. But you know, for a while now, it's been pretty competitive, and there's a lot of connections there that really lead to that respect. And yeah, of course, you know, we get out there on the field, we want to win that game more than anything
all love
in the
is
world.
lost at that point, right.
Absolutely. But you know, Coach Straub's came in, done a fantastic job with their program. I think, you know, a lot of good things going on over there. I hear a lot of good things about them and their program and where they're headed. So yeah, I think we got the mutual respect there, and but it is a rival, you know, and I've been here for a long time, so probably doesn't feel quite like not a rival to me as it does him. But
you're not as much of a newcomer as Coach Straub.
But yeah, he's a good guy. We have you know, we talk about different things that's going on, and you know, I'm impressed with the things he's got going on over there, and it's going to be a tough game come August 22nd for us, I know.
Briefly, Coach, talk a little bit about this region that you guys have. We just had Beach on for our last segment. Also Station Camp, Portland, and Hunters Lane. The Sumner County teams, Portland and Beach in particular, all kind of have this similar identity to what you guys have, which makes for an interesting league.
Yeah, I don't. What's the question?
What's kind of your thought on having 4 teams from Sumner County kind of going up against each other? And
well, it's always good to have county games. You know, it's just you don't have to travel as far. You know, you got the natural rivalries here with a lot of them, and then obviously we got Gallatin in there as well for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the schedule would be easier to fill if we had a few more teams in our region. A little bit bigger of a region is usually a good thing.
You prefer a larger region than, I guess, for scheduling purposes?
Oh yeah,
that's what you said there.
Yeah. That would make the scheduling.
Well, it makes things a little more difficult playoff-wise, right? I mean, in this league, you technically just need to win one game.
Yeah, but I don't mind needing to win more than one game to deserve a playoff berth.
Fair enough,
like
yeah.
I think there maybe should be a little bit more requirement in there, because if you only win one game and you make the playoffs, you really deserve to be playing in the playoffs.
That's a good point.
I don't know about that.
I agree with that.
You know, so yeah, I would probably prefer a larger region. I like having the county teams in there. Station Camp moved up, you know. I think Springfield, if they wouldn't have moved down, they probably would be in there with us as well. That would give us one more good competitive team.
And then Henry County out of there as well.
Yeah, and then Henry County went up to the Clarksville region, I believe. But yeah, you know, I have no control over the region, so it is what it is, and we will do our best to play well in those region games and match up with whoever they match up with us if we're fortunate enough to make a playoff.
Yeah, playoffs lining up with that Page, Nolensville region. Coach, we'll close out with this. If you could, please kind of fill us in on where things are happening within your stadium, how things are looking over there at Hendersonville, and you know, kind of the updates that you've been given in regards to those stadium facility upgrades.
Yeah, it's you know, I don't have a lot of information on that. Kind of not. I'm not the one in charge of doing that process, so it is what it is. But I was told this week that you know, we're looking at the 29th being the date that we're going to be able to get in there and play football. Now there's some other parts of the project's not going to be ready on the 29th. But it doesn't look like it's going to be that the stadium part's going to be ready anytime before the 29th.
Right.
So it looks like that 29th date may be the first date that we get to have fans sitting in the stadium this year, and hopefully, it's a good place, and we want everybody to come out and watch that game and check us out against Smyrna on the 29th, and hopefully we play well against Gallatin and put a good product on our home field on the 29th that Hendersonville can be proud of.
It'll be a fun first home game, a fun first game of the season, always is, between Hendersonville and Gallatin. Coach James Beasley, thank you so much for joining us. When we come back, we're going to have Ford Proctor and Michael Walker join us. Sumner County Media Days, brought to you by Main Street Media Television.
What do you look for when searching for a realtor? Experience? Steve Schrum with Simply Home has been a realtor in Sumner County for 30 years. Number of houses sold? Steve Schrum with Simply Home has sold over 1,000 homes. Leadership in the field? Steve Schrum with Simply Home, president of the Sumner Realtors in 2004 and 2018. Awards: Steve Schrum with Simply Home 2006, 2016 Realtor of the Year for Sumner Realtors. What do the clients say? Steve Schrum with Simply Home is knowledgeable, professional, and kind with a super work ethic. Steve Schrum with Simply Home sells 99% of his homes quickly and for top dollar, and communicates from the beginning to the end of the process. Your homework is now done. Steve Schrum with Simply Home is the realtor for the job. Call Steve Schrum with Simply Home today at 615-473-6633. Visit Steve at steveschrum.com or stop by and say hello at 118 Suite 150, Hendersonville, Tennessee, 37075.
Volunteer Fence is your one-stop shop for all your fencing needs. If you need assistance with residential, commercial, gates, and handrails, trust the company with over 45 years of fencing experience, Volunteer Fence. Located in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Volunteer Fence services customers in Middle Tennessee, including Hendersonville, Gallatin, Lebanon, White House, Smyrna, Nashville, Springfield, Brentwood, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Mount Juliet, and the surrounding areas. Call Volunteer Fence at 615-822-6530 for a free estimate or visit www.volunteerfencellc.com.
Thank you to our sponsors for Sumner County Media Day: K1 Speed, the Farmers Bank, Volunteer Fence, Steve Schrum, Simply Home Real Estate, and our host sponsor, Birdie Bros. Chris Jones here, big part in getting us a home for Sumner County Media Days. We thank you so much for having us here. And,
our pleasure.
Tell us about Birdie Bros.
Yeah, so we had this crazy wild idea, my business partner and I, a couple years ago, to bring indoor golf and a sports bar concept kind of together. I've lived in Hendersonville, since 1994, and realized that there's not a lot to do up here. And so we decided to change that and bring a little bit of, unfortunately people characterize it as, it's Top Golf, but inside. And that's kind of what we've ran with for a little bit. But we're a sports bar at heart, first and foremost. And then we've got 7 indoor golf simulators that you can come and enjoy as much as you want, whether it's trying to hone in your golf skills or just a night out and looking for some entertainment with your kids or anything in between. So
can release some stress, knocking some balls down too. Huh?
Absolutely.
I've heard great things about the menu too. Our photographer John Decker said he got an ice cream cookie a little ago, and
that little cookie skillet.
The burger was really good. Tell us about what we've got on the menu.
Yeah, so we've got we actually just redid our menu about 30 days ago. So the burger that he was talking about is actually one of our most popular. It's an American Wagyu burger. It's a big, massive half-pound burger that people really love and enjoy. But yeah, we characterize our menu as an elevated sports bar feel. So there's lots of sports bars, whether it's Buffalo Wild Wings or others in the area. But we kind of go above and beyond with our scratch kitchen in the back and making sure that we're homemaking sauces. We're trying to step out of the traditional as much as possible to give people a different experience. So we're here for that, and hopefully people will come by and give us a try. A lot of people also are very timid. They think that, Birdie Bros, and they hear the name and they go, oh, it's just golf. And it's like, guys, you can come and have a great meal. You can come and have lunch. We've got lots of specials throughout the week, so would love to see if we can have anybody out and see what their thoughts are, get some feedback.
Oh, he's making me hungry with this menu. Be sure to check out Birdie Bros all throughout this week for Sumner County Media Days here in Indian Lake. A great location, great place for some golf, some food, some drinks. We'll be here all week, but even beyond that, be sure to check out Birdie Bros. Thank you, Chris.
Awesome, appreciate it.
At the Farmers Bank, nothing means more to us than helping our customers grow. We take pride in supporting our neighbors, creating customized solutions, and building strong communities, one relationship at a time. It's simple. We're just local people making local decisions. We're as community gets. We'd love to be part of your success. Visit any of our non-Middle Tennessee locations or visit us online to get started. The Farmers Bank, improving lives in the markets we serve.
The best indoor go-kart racing experience is here in Nashville, Tennessee. K1 Speed Nashville by Will Power is a world-class entertainment venue that is designed to help keep you entertained and engaged whether you're on or off the track. If you want to experience indoor karting yourself, are interested in hosting a fun party for a friend or loved one, or would like to plan a corporate function, we'll be here to help. K1 Speed Nashville by Will Power is open 7 days a week. Visit k1speed.com/Nashville for more details. K1 Speed Nashville is located at 404 Davidson Street, Nashville, Tennessee. Call 615-242-3275 or visit k1speed.com/Nashville. K1 Speed Nashville, the best and fastest indoor go-kart racing in Nashville.
Sumner County Media Days is brought to you by Volunteer Fence, K1 Speed, Steve Schrum, Simply Home Real Estate, and the Farmers Bank. I'm Gallatin News, Hendersonville Standard, and Portland Sun Sports Editor Blaine Kellar, joined by a couple of Hendersonville players here as we continue our last segment of Sumner County Media Days. To my left is running back Ford Proctor. To my right, defensive lineman Michael Walker. I prefaced this with Ford before we got in here, so I want to start with this. Fordprocter, not to be confused with the MLB player Ford Proctor, ending OR. He's not that much of an MLB player. I hope the other Ford Proctor doesn't see this and then, come after me, but kind of wanted to brag. I'm going to now try to use Ford Proctor in my Immaculate Grid game. Ford, you said you've tried Googling your own name before and he pops up.
Yes, sir, I have.
That's funny. So a couple of Hendersonville guys here talking about your season last year, previewing this year. Let's continue on with Ford here. You relieved Cooper Jordan a lot of the time as running back last season, now kind of trending more toward taking that lead back role. Is that right?
Yes, sir, it is.
How exciting is that for you?
It's very exciting because I've learned so much from Cooper. He's taught me a lot about the position that I knew nothing about because I switched like 3 games in.
Yeah.
And he was a great leader.
What position did you switch from last season?
Left half. So slot receiver.
Right. And what did you learn specifically from Cooper about the position in the year you got to work together?
Mainly just being able to read defensive to like find the hole, making bigger runs, stuff like that.
Going over here to Michael, your coach complimented your leadership that you've kind of taken on. What kind of responsibility did you feel like you had as a senior to try to lead these guys through the spring and now the summer?
So this is my senior season. It's the last season I got left to play football. So I'm trying to like mentor the younger guys, teaching them like the ropes and stuff like that.
Can you give me an example as to what you've kind of, how you've maybe kept somebody on track or how you've encouraged a teammate throughout this off-season work?
So you know how we have like summer workouts and stuff like that, and those can be like really hard at times. And we have like a couple of teammates who want to like quit. So like I've talked to them. Some of the older guys have talked to them. Told them it's gonna pay out in the long run. So.
You had to call a breakout play, breakout game. First game of last season. Hendersonville and Gallatin had the game-winning fumble recovery. What did that moment do for your confidence and really just a season under your belt? How did that help you?
It was great.
Let's start here. Run me through that play again. I asked you a similar question after that first game, but Gallatin's going on what could have been a game-winning drive, and you find the ball and end up winning the game for your team, a big rivalry game. Run me through that play, what you remember from it.
All I remember is the receiver or running back caught the ball. Riley Jordan was in there to make the tackle. He like hit the ball out, and there was like two other guys around me. I saw a ball, so I just jumped on it.
I think that was a pretty similar answer to what you gave me a year ago. And again, if you could talk about what kind of confidence last season gave you, kind of cementing a position with this team.
It showed me that I can do anything that like I put my mind to. That I know my guys, my teammates are here to back me up. So yeah.
Well, defensive line seems like the trenches as a whole seems like something that could be a strength for Hendersonville this season. Talk about your teammates on that defensive line and what kind of havoc you guys bring to opposing offenses.
We're mainly taught to come off the ball, blow people back. So if we blow people back, there's nowhere for the guys, like linemen, to climb up on linebackers and stuff like that. So.
Talking with Ford Proctor and Michael Walker for Hendersonville's Sumner County Media Days. Ford, one bit of research I found about you. Your sister plays soccer at Maryville College, right?
Yes, sir, she
I
does.
figure maybe over the years she kind of ran you around the yard a lot and kind of helped you in that regard. Is that fair to say?
She did, absolutely. Every day, like just getting me outside and having her kick soccer balls with her all the time.
You guys have just an athletic family? I mean, what?
Yes, sir. I guess you could say that. My dad played 3 sports, the same as I did. My sister ran track and played soccer. My mom ran track.
Lots of running in the Proctor family. You played baseball too, tying back into that first question about the first Ford Proctor. On the other side of things, Michael asked him about the defensive line. How do you feel about the offensive line in front of you that you'll get to run kind of in front of this season?
I'm very excited for it. They've been working really hard during workouts, and I know they're kind of a younger group, some of them, but they're very mature for their age, and yeah, I think they're going to be great this year.
One younger guy I wanted to shout out. This was a first for me. Someone not speaking today as part of the player group, select players for Hendersonville. Colt Patterson sent me an email this morning introducing himself, kind of with a resume and a couple of accolades. Is he a sophomore? Is that right?
He's going to be a junior.
So sophomore last year, rising junior. Kind of a cool thing. He's not even speaking today. Wanted to introduce himself and thank us for our coverage. Thought that was pretty neat. So wanted to give a shout out to Colt Patterson there. New region for you guys. A couple of new teams, but they do similar things. Beach has a similar style as to what you guys want to do. Portland does something similar as to what you guys want to do. How does that help in the preparation of things? I'll ask both of you guys this when you're playing teams that really want to control possessions and defend well.
I think it just like shows we know more of what we're going up against because we try to do the same kind of things, and I think we're better prepared for it for that reason because we know what we want to do, and that kind of shows us what we need to stop on defense.
Michael, add on to that.
So we sort of know what's coming. So we sort of know our assignments and stuff like that. So if everybody's doing their assignment, there should be ways for us to stop it, and no one can do anything against it. So.
Hendersonville went 7-4 last season. Want to ask you guys, talking about the running back room, talking about the defensive line unit, as a group, talk about some of your teammates in that room and how they have improved all together. I'll start with the running backs.
The running backs, we have a bunch of young guys, but they're all very talented. They're all very hard workers, and I hope I can teach them a lot like Cooper taught me this year. And, I think we can do something special in the running back room, really.
Give us some shout-outs here. Who are some young guys?
Will Jackson, he's going to be a sophomore. Tate Rumney.
These other guys have to earn. These first two guys got some shout-outs. The other ones have to earn it from Ford Proctor. He's not just throwing out names for fun. Michael, give me some improvements that the defensive line has made in the past year.
We're getting stronger. More condition. Not last year. We weren't really, first few games we weren't really conditioned, but as the season goes on, we get more and more condition. We got a bunch of young guys too, like Cole, Tegan Parisa, upcoming junior, and we got a couple of seniors in there too who are working hard and are ready for the season.
Last couple of questions for these Hendersonville Commando players on Sumner County Media Days. Ford, your coach, mentioned that right now there's another quarterback competition happening at Hendersonville between Hugo Minor and Christopher Jordan. What kind of confidence do you have in either one of those guys to get the job done?
I have confidence in both of them. I've known Chris most of my life. He's a little younger. Hugo's older. I haven't known him as long, but they're both really solid quarterbacks. Chris really hopes out in the run game, I think.
Yeah.
He's a very good runner. And Hugo just has a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
He can throw it.
And with the competition right now, do you feel like there's going to be more of an emphasis? There's always an emphasis to run the ball at Hendersonville, but is there going to be more so of that?
I think so. I think we've talked about it a little bit that we might spread out the offense and throw it a little more.
Be interesting to see with these Commando players, with Hendersonville as a whole. Thank you to Ford Proctor and Michael Walker for joining us. We'll continue our Sumner County Media Days with a couple of Commando's assistant coaches. You're watching Sumner County Media Days, brought to you by Birdie Bros here in Hendersonville.
Volunteer Fence is your one-stop shop for all your fencing needs. If you need assistance with residential, commercial, gates, and handrails, trust the company with over 45 years of fencing experience, Volunteer Fence. Located in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Volunteer Fence services customers in Middle Tennessee, including Hendersonville, Gallatin, Lebanon, White House, Smyrna, Nashville, Springfield, Brentwood, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Mount Juliet, and the surrounding areas. Call Volunteer Fence at 615-822-6530 for a free estimate or visit www.volunteerfencellc.com.
At the Farmers Bank, nothing means more to us than helping our customers grow. We take pride in supporting our neighbors, creating customized solutions, and building strong communities, one relationship at a time. It's simple. We're just local people making local decisions. We're as community gets. We'd love to be part of your success. Visit any of our non-Middle Tennessee locations or visit us online to get started. The Farmers Bank, improving lives in the markets we serve.
The best indoor go-kart racing experience is here in Nashville, Tennessee. K1 Speed Nashville by Will Power is a world-class entertainment venue that is designed to help keep you entertained and engaged whether you're on or off the track. If you want to experience indoor karting yourself, are interested in hosting a fun party for a friend or loved one, or would like to plan a corporate function, we'll be here to help. K1 Speed Nashville by Will Power is open 7 days a week. Visit k1speed.com/Nashville for more details. K1 Speed Nashville is located at 404 Davidson Street, Nashville, Tennessee. Call 615-242-3275 or visit k1speed.com/Nashville. K1 Speed Nashville, the best and fastest indoor go-kart racing in Nashville.
What do you look for when searching for a realtor? Experience? Steve Schrum with Simply Home has been a realtor in Sumner County for 30 years. Number of houses sold? Steve Schrum with Simply Home has sold over 1,000 homes. Leadership in the field? Steve Schrum with Simply Home, president of the Sumner Realtors in 2004 and 2018. Awards? Steve Schrum with Simply Home 2006-2016 Realtor of the Year for Sumner Realtors. What do the clients say? Steve Schrum with Simply Home is knowledgeable, professional, and kind with a super work ethic. Steve Schrum with Simply Home sells 99% of his homes quickly and for top dollar, and communicates from the beginning to the end of the process. Your homework is now done. Steve Schrum with Simply Home is the realtor for the job. Call Steve Schrum with Simply Home today at 615-473-6633. Visit Steve at steveschrum.com or stop by and say hello at 118 Saundersville Road, Suite 150, Hendersonville, Tennessee, 37075.
Continuing our Sumner County Media Days with two coordinators for Hendersonville football, Mike Flack, special teams coordinator, freshman's coach, and we've got Anthony Lake, quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator. Glad to have you guys on to talk a little bit of Hendersonville football. You guys were both really esteemed in your playing days. On top of that, too, a little blast from the past here. Anthony, you were in the late 90s in all-county and an all-mid-state quarterback for Hendersonville. Also starred for the baseball team. Tell us a little bit about your glory days.
It was late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, we had some good teams. I was fortunate. We were on the first team that ever made the playoffs, ever hosted a home game. Went to the semifinals my junior year. Baseball, I was lucky.
Coach Hendricks?
Coach Hendricks was the Coach White was there my sophomore year. Then after that, he retired. And Coach Hendricks took over my junior and senior year.
Legend of the game that retired just a couple of years ago. Mike, part of the 2001 state runner-up team.
Yes, sir.
How special was that run? I mean, a little over 20 years ago now.
It feels like it was yesterday. It was an incredible experience. That was my senior year. That was the second run we made. The first one was my freshman year. It was an exciting time for our program. We used to talk about building a tradition back then, and I think we did that. And just like Coach Lake said, just a lot of great football players and great people coming together and doing good things. And obviously it had an impact on my life because it brought me back here. So,
do you relay those experiences to players now, talking about what it took to get to that moment, to get to the state championship game?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the goal of what we're doing, is trying to get back there and accomplish that goal. And so, losing out on that and that experience is definitely what drives me as a coach and us as a coaching staff.
Go over here to Anthony. I was talking with Coach Beasley a little bit about this. You guys have a little bit of a quarterback competition to this point between Christopher Jordan, who's had a couple of years of experience sporadically with the varsity offense, and then Hugo Minor, who moved in from Colorado a little over a year ago. Talk about both of those guys and what they've kind of brought to the competition.
I think they both. The good thing is they're both pretty good leaders, and the kids respond well to them in the huddle and on the field. They're just a little different. Chris is a little more athletic, a little more nimble on his feet. Hugo is more of a pure drop back kind of passer guy. So it's going to come down to which way we decide that gives our team the best chance to win, based on what we got going on in other places.
Are you, as an offensive coordinator, do you shy away from the thought of playing both of them, or if it came down to that, would you? How do you kind of approach that?
I am against that and have been, but we have done that. It's kind of like that old saying: if you got two quarterbacks, you've got none.
That is the age-old adage there.
And we have tried it. We've gone that route twice before, fairly recently, and it hasn't worked out. So my preference is one of them steps up between now and August 29th, August 22nd, and takes a hold of the job.
What do you relay to them? Kind of similar question that I asked Mike. As a quarterback who's had success in your heyday, what do you relay to them about what it takes to be a successful high school quarterback?
Well, the game's different than it was when I played, but first and foremost, you've got to be a leader. You've got to own the huddle, and you've got to own the offense when you're on the field, because no coach is out there. So if the right tackle doesn't know what to do and has a question, you're the one that's got to know. So that's number one. And number two is to execute what we're asking you to execute. Right? If it's in the passing game, understand that incompletions, interceptions are going to happen. But as long as we've got our eyes in the right spot and we're making the right read, I can live with that. But just don't try to do too much.
Mike, you are special teams coordinator, and on top of that, the freshman team coach. Mm-hmm. Both of those positions, to the common observer, might be overlooked. Mm-hmm. But both of those are very important to the development of the team, the program,
absolutely,
and the success of the team on Friday nights in that third phase.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't really realize it until this will be my seventh season as the freshman coach, and my third year as the special teams coordinator. So it'll be my third year doing them both together. You don't realize how important it is until you get into it. You see, as a freshman coach, I'm their entry into commando football. It's kind of my responsibility to make them fall in love with commando football and the game of football itself. I see these kids. I start watching them in 6th, 7th, 8th grade in our 2 feeder schools. Try and get to know them, keep them coming to Hendersonville High School. And getting them prepared to be a varsity athlete. It's an extremely important role, and I enjoy doing it.
Has that freshman program, have you seen development, growth out of it since you took over it, 7 years ago?
Consistently, we're going to have the same amount of numbers most years. But we got 2 schools that are feeding us, Hawkins and Ellis, great programs. They got great coaches. And typically we're going to get 30 to 50 and move toward that range. I've had as low as 30, as high as 55 in the last 7 years.
Wow.
So it really just goes year by year. You never know what you're going to get until they show up. So we're looking forward to this year for sure.
That makes for a busy week too. Those freshman games are at the start of the week, right?
Yeah, we actually play ours on Thursday night.
Oh, wow, so you go back to back.
I go back to back, yep. We have middle school play on Tuesday night. We're usually going to be out there watching whoever's playing at our home field, Hawkins or Ellis. And then Thursday night's our game, and Friday night's game night.
And Saturday's film study.
Saturday's film, Sunday's film. It's football season.
I thought my schedule was busy. That's loaded right there. Anthony, could you talk a little bit about replacing some of those big producers that you had offensively last year, namely Riley and Cooper? You're tasked with having a new top receiver on top of a new quarterback, as well as a running back who could get you consistent yardage every single down.
Yeah, there's no doubt that we lost some fantastic players. The best thing about them, they were fantastic kids and teammates. But you're not going to replace Riley with his speed. So we've got to tweak some things to take advantage of what our current kids do well. We can't ask the current kids to suddenly be as fast as Riley, right? And same thing with Cooper. But we've got Ford Proctor's coming back. He got good amount of carries behind Cooper. Very similar type of back. But it's getting things settled down and then finding what this current crop does well and play to their strength and not what we lost.
In that crop, I talked with Coach Beasley about Weston Hall, somebody who got some run in the preseason last year. How do you utilize a guy of his size in your kind of offense?
Yeah, and we have another kid, Dallas Hodges, that used to be a quarterback that moved over, is very tall. too. Sometimes those guys are valuable, especially on the goal line if you can run some fades or anything to give them a chance. You can they almost turn into a safety blanket for a quarterback where it may not always go to your check down read. But hey, let's throw it up to him. Let's give him a shot because he is obviously a basketball player, tall, athletic, can jump. Sometimes you do that. Just let him be a football player.
With Hendersonville assistant coaches Anthony Lake and Mike Flatt, I'm Sumner County Sports Editor Blaine Kellar. You guys are both, you joked with me, assistant to the assistant defensive line coaches. Well, we talked a lot about some of the younger talents that you guys might have on that defensive line. Michael Walker, of course, is a senior, but guys like Tegan Parizic and Brock Murray showing some flashes. Feels like games might be won for you guys in the trenches this year. Can either of you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, I think we're expecting if we're going to win football games, we're going to win in the trenches, and that's kind of how we expect to play every year. But especially when we're returning, some of the guys we're returning in the interior line, like Tegan and Michael and Brock and guys like Colt Patterson. We feel like we got a little bit of size up front right now, and that should be one of our strengths. We're going to take pride in that and do our best to execute that every day.
Anthony, anything to add to that?
No, he's exactly right. That the offensive line and the defensive line, should be the strength of our team.
Thank you to these Hendersonville assistant coaches for joining us on Sumner County Media Days for the Commandos. We're taking one final break. When we come back, our final special guest for Sumner County Media Days. Stay tuned.
At the Farmers Bank, nothing means more to us than helping our customers grow. We take pride in supporting our neighbors, creating customized solutions, and building strong communities, one relationship at a time. It's simple. We're just local people making local decisions. We're as community gets. We'd love to be part of your success. Visit any of our 9 Middle Tennessee locations or visit us online to get started. The Farmers Bank, improving lives in the markets we serve.
The best indoor go-kart racing experience is here in Nashville, Tennessee. K1 Speed Nashville by Will Power is a world-class entertainment venue that is designed to help keep you entertained and engaged whether you're on or off the track. If you want to experience indoor karting yourself, are interested in hosting a fun party for a friend or loved one, or would like to plan a corporate function, we'll be here to help. K1 Speed Nashville by Will Power is open 7 days a week. Visit k1speed.com/Nashville for more details. K1 Speed Nashville is located at 404 Davidson Street, Nashville, Tennessee. Call 615-242-3275 or visit k1speed.com/Nashville. K1 Speed Nashville, the best and fastest indoor go-kart racing in Nashville.
What do you look for when searching for a realtor? Experience? Steve Schrum with Simply Home has been a realtor in Sumner County for 30 years. Number of houses sold? Steve Schrum with Simply Home has sold over 1,000 homes. Leadership in the field? Steve Schrum with Simply Home, president of the Sumner Realtors in 2004 and 2018. Awards? Steve Schrum with Simply Home 2006-2016 Realtor of the Year for Sumner Realtors. What do the clients say? Steve Shrum with Simply Home is knowledgeable, professional, and kind with a super work ethic. Steve Shrum with Simply Home sells 99% of his homes quickly and for top dollar, and communicates from the beginning to the end of the process. Your homework is now done. Steve Shrum with Simply Home is the realtor for the job. Call Steve Shrum with Simply Home today at 615-473-6633. Visit Steve at steveshrum.com or stop by and say hello at 118 Saundersville Road, Suite 150, Hendersonville, Tennessee, 37075.
Volunteer Fence is your one-stop shop for all your fencing needs. If you need assistance with residential, commercial, gates, and handrails, trust the company with over 45 years of fencing experience, Volunteer Fence. Located in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Volunteer Fence services customers in Middle Tennessee, including Hendersonville, Gallatin, Lebanon, White House, Smyrna, Nashville, Springfield, Brentwood, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Mount Juliet, and the surrounding areas. Call Volunteer Fence at 615-822-6530 for a free estimate or visit www.volunteerfencellc.com.
We're closing out Sumner County Media Days with my closer, my co-worker David Wilson, regional sports editor as well for the Murfreesboro Post and Wilson Post.
Mount Juliet Chronicle as well. Can't forget about the Chronicle.
Can't forget that one. David's been with our company since 2023, that's right.
Getting old now.
He's a great asset to have.
I don't know about that.
Calls me just about every day. At first it got on my nerves, but great friend, a great coworker, and somebody that Sumner County fans might want to get acquainted with rather quickly, because when it comes to week 1 of the Sumner County football season, there's quite a bit of overlap.
Yeah, absolutely. That Thursday, August 21st, already counting down the days. Feels like it's going to be here tomorrow. It's going to be a battle on the hill. You know, 2 really good football teams that kind of had some sour endings to their season last year in the postseason. That's the Beach Bucks, who you've talked to here at Sumner County Media Days, and the Green Hill Hawks, led by Coach Josh Crouch. You know, we kind of talked about it. I covered the game last year on Shackle Island between Beach and Springfield.
Yes.
And even though I was the Robertson County sports editor, you know, you kind of have kind of favoritism towards your teams and want to see them move on. I think we were all shocked by the way that Beach went out in the manner that they did.
No one saw that coming.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. I did pick Springfield to win the game. I'm just going to throw that out there. But nobody saw that Beach team going out like that on their home field. So I know they're going to have a bitter taste in their mouth the way last year ended. And you think about the Green Hill Hawks, on my perspective, coming in Wilson County, they were undefeated last year in the regular season, 1 region, 4-6A, which Gallatin is a part of.
Yeah.
Gallatin fans know the Green Hill very well and Wilson County very well. And they lost in the first round at home to Blackman 45-14. Lost about 30 points in the first round of the playoffs. You know, Beach makes it to the quarters. Green Hill didn't even make it past the first round, so they're going to be another team that kind of has a sour, bitter taste in their mouth, and they're bringing back a lot of talented players. Just kind of learning about them this year. 33 seniors on their roster, so they're going to be a veteran team that's kind of going to be put through the fire by their head coach, Josh Crouch. First week, they play Beach, a really good Beach team in 5A. They're going to follow it up with another good team in 5A at Page, who made it to the state championship game last year. And then they're going on the road to Williamson County, to play Page. So what if 3 weeks for Green Hill to start the season? But it's all to prepare them for the playoffs. So I'm really excited for week 1 and having Beach come out to Wilson County on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
I bet you it's going to be on TV and it's going to be in a great atmosphere. But, you know, 2 really talented quarterbacks, Cannon Burrows from Green Hill, semifinalist last year for Mr. Football in 6A, and then obviously Caden Powell. Got to study a bit of him last year in 5A. Really a dynamic player who can do a lot, running the football and throwing it as well. Talented Beach offense as well with Sheldon Swafford and Fuchs on the offensive line going to Penn State. So I know that was very long-winded and rambling, but it should be a really good matchup. And then you think about it with Beach. Week 2, coming right back to Wilson County. Faced a really good Mount Juliet team that's going to have some turnover offensively. Obviously, Tyler Travers has gone on to Eastern Kentucky. But Coach Trey Perry does a great job at Mount Juliet, so should be a good couple weeks.
It's a Main Street Media crossover episode to close us out. Our photographer John Decker's done great work all week long. You'll see his photos a little later this week. Really grateful for David Wilson, grateful for John Decker, grateful to Ginger McClendon. Shout out Ginger over there for helping us out and put this together. Alan, producer in the back, Magic Man. Talked a little bit about Green Hill. Tell us about Mount Juliet, not only what Beach can expect out of this team, but Gallatin as well. You kind of touched on that whole region together.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned just it's a reclassification year for Tulsa. Warren County is no longer in that region. They're the lone team that left the region. So just looking at it really quickly, it's the same kind of, it's Wilson County, and then it's Gallatin, and then Cookeville coming from Putnam County.
Yeah.
Really good teams. We kind of mentioned that off air, just how talented this region is. With Green Hill, with Mount Juliet, who played last year, both really talented teams, played for a region championship for the Mayor's Cup the last week of the year. So what can they expect? I kind of mentioned it with Green Hill. They have 33 seniors, right? 9 returning on offense, led by Cannon Burrows, 7 on defense. And then Mount Juliet has some really talented playmakers as well. Obviously, I kind of mentioned the new quarterback, so they're going to have a new offensive system. I just heard some rumblings that there's going to be a new offensive scheme. So something to watch out there for Trey Perry. But he's a veteran coach, and so Mount Juliet is a really tough place to play. And so Beach is going to experience that really early in the season. Back-to-back really tough environment games, and then Gallatin as well. I kind of mentioned, if you look on Main Street Preps and look at our Wilson Post and Mount Juliet Chronicle page, I kind of predicted some of the top games of the year, and something I mentioned was that Beach Green Hill matchup, but also mentioned Gallatin playing Green Hill. Last year they played on Friday Night Rivals in the rain at Calvin Short Field.
That was a sloppy mess.
But, I kind of mentioned and highlighted the quarterback battle that's going to take place there. Obviously, Cannon Burrows, and then, Gallatin's quarterback is really good as well.
Jackson Stroud.
Yeah, a very dynamic player. I know he didn't have his best passing matchup considering the conditions last year, but that was a 26-13 ball game last year. That could have gone either way with the conditions that kind of presented itself. So, that region is very competitive. It's going to be very tight. Definitely with some roster turnover here at some of these schools. So looking forward to that. But, we're in the predictions business, right? So I would say that if I was looking at a favorite, I think Green Hill would be, just with everything that they're bringing back. But I've heard that Gallatin team is going to be really good and strong as well, and that has some returners that can do some good things for them.
That's what Coach Straub told us yesterday. And since we're on the Hendersonville episode, or our finale, if you will, of Sumner County Media Days, the important tie-in here is that so many of these teams from Wilson County will play teams from Sumner County and in turn be a common opponent for Hendersonville to play. So not only is this an important kind of test and look at what the schedule, the season might look like for teams around Hendersonville, but also for Hendersonville as well. Another team I wanted to touch on, Watertown. One of the teams in your new coverage area.
Right.
They'll be going up against Liberty Creek at mid-season. Tigers had a quarterback change as well.
Yeah, it's it's kind of the wild west. We've seen the transfer portal affect college football. Well, now it's affecting high school football as well. And we've seen it on 2 instances here in Wilson County where last year Blake Waldorf was at Watertown, had a really good year. He's been a 2-year starter. He's a veteran now, played a lot of snaps for the Purple Tigers in Watertown. He's transferred to Friendship Christian, which is a really good team in Division II Single A in the Middle Region. They're going to have a great matchup at the end of the year. Just for a preview for those that love good football overall, Nashville Christian versus Friendship Christian at the end of the year, last game of the regular season, is going to be must-watch over in Nashville when FCS makes the trip over to NCS. But, that's quarterback change, so it's going to be a different quarterback for Watertown. So try to figure out who that is. Kind of typical when you lose your 2-year starter, there's going to be some change and some turnover. There's probably going to be a competition that results from that. And then obviously, he's transferring to Friendship Christian, so Friendship Christian must have had a change. Well, Luke Sellers, who is a legacy player at Lebanon, has several of his family members play at Lebanon High School. Some are in the Hall of Fame there. He's transferred to Lebanon and is going to factor into the Blue Devils quarterback competition as well. You don't want to give somebody the job right away, but he's going to factor into that for Coach Chuck Gentry. So it's kind of the Wild West now. The transfer portal is a thing. And so, it's just kind of the nature of the beast now. We've seen it at the college level here, locally with Tennessee. Well, it's at the high school level now as well. So Liberty Creek is a really good team. coached well by Coach Alexander. Was fortunate enough to talk to him last year, several occasions. Had him in the playoffs with White House Heritage as well when I was in Robertson County. He does a great job over there, and they've done a good job of adding to their coaching staff with Ryan Hamilton coming over.
Look at David Wilson doing my job.
Knowing all the information is good, but they do a great job over there. So that Watertown game is going to be a good game as well. That's towards the end of the season as we kind of get ready for the playoffs. So that's kind of a good look for both teams to get going before the postseason.
Talking with Main Street Media co-worker David Wilson to close out our Sumner County Media Days. Last chance to see us at Birdie Bros. Sounds like you can also get in on the trivia too. Final 15 minutes here at Birdie Bros in Hendersonville. We're also brought to you by K1 Speed, Volunteer Fence, the Farmers Bank, and Steve Schrum, Simply Home Real Estate. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. You've got Titans Media Day tomorrow. Lots of teams from your Rutherford area, your Wilson area.
You're reminding me, and you're going to cause me to lose all the hair that's already left on my head. It's going to be gone by tomorrow.
It's going to be a busy day for you. Which teams are you looking forward to talking to?
Absolutely. I think you always start off with Wilson. Monty Hale does a great job with me in Rutherford of kind of lessening my burden there. And Wilson, from those that I know right now, there have been so many added and confirmed. I think there's over 50 schools here in the Mid-State that are planning to go to Titans Media Day, which is really cool. Thankful for them for putting on an event like that. It makes our job so much easier to get hold of players and coaches when they're right there in front of you. They're kind of hard to track down during the summer when it's coming off the dead period. But
no doubt.
Looking forward to seeing Wilson Central there, getting to know their players and their coaching staff. Mount Juliet Christian is going to be there as well. Then obviously I kind of mentioned Green Hill, and I figured that Green Hill would not have a nice contingent of media come to see them with all the expectations that kind of placed on them. They're kind of an up-and-coming program that's kind of, you could circle this year as the year that they're going to, do something. They're going to be somebody to keep an eye on here in the Mid-State. Obviously, when it comes to Rutherford County and Murfreesboro area, Oakland's always a premier program that's going to capture some attention. Craig Tutt, I believe he's going to commit here in the next couple weeks, so he might be somebody that we catch up with tomorrow to talk to.
Star running back for the
right,
Patriots.
Mr. Football Finals last year as well. Laverne is going to be a program that's going to be down there. MTCS is going to be down there. Eagleville is going to be down there, and then Blackman, I believe, is going to be down there as well. So several teams coming up from the Murfreesboro area that are going to meet us at Nissan Stadium. Looking forward to talking to them, introducing myself. Obviously, they're so used to dealing with Monty, who does a great job down there, and his whole freelance staff do a great job of covering those programs down there. But, I want to show my face, give them some recognition and things of that nature. But I'm looking forward to that. It's the first time that I'll be going to Titans Media Days over there at Nissan Stadium. Looking forward just to seeing our colleagues again, and then Mo Patton is going to be over there helping out, Calvin White as well from Clarksville. And, I'll say this. I really do miss being in Robertson County. I know East Robertson is going to be there. White House Heritage is going to be there as well. So looking forward to catching up with those guys and shaking some hands and just, I guess, seeing the players again. It's getting closer. We're getting closer to August, and football season is going to be here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, if you didn't catch the staff changes that we had as a company over the past couple of months, as David mentioned previously, the Robertson County Connection sports reporter. Right. I was previously the Robertson County Connection sports reporter. Before him, Calvin White, new Robertson County sports reporter over there, also in charge of Clarksville and Houston County. Maurice Patton handles all of our southern Middle Tennessee stuff, talking about Giles County, Murray County, the Pulaski area, Lewis, Hickman
Lawrence
County too, Lawrence. The list goes on and on for him. He's a pro's pro and someone to really look up to.
Right.
You took over for a Hall of Famer in his own right, Tommy Bryant.
Right.
Talk about taking over for Tommy and how you've kind of tried to settle in before the season started.
Right. First of all, just super honored to follow in his footsteps, right? I mean, Tommy is one of the who's who in our business here locally. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. And he's been doing it for 50 years in Wilson County, and they're so used to going to him as that trusted source. If you go on our website and read all the things that coaches said about him, a lot of flowers to Tommy and just the work ethic that he does. I mean, the man would write stories and cover games in the press box as an announcer for Lebanon, so he's just a hard worker. And so just so grateful to be chosen to follow in his footsteps. It's not a job that I take lightly, right? Taking over for a Hall of Famer like that. I'm never going to be Tommy. I'm going to have my own flavor and style, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of replacing somebody like them. And it just makes me step up my game, right? You know, you've been fortunate enough to take over for some really good people. You took over for Russell and Robertson, and, you know, so you want to step up your game, following the people, and, you know, having coworkers like yourself, Maurice and, you know, Tommy and even Calvin. You want to step up your game when you have such a talented staff of writers. So hopefully it's only going to make me better. But I'm looking forward to getting to know the Wilson community, covering some really good football as well, and volleyball as well. So, you know, I was in Robertson, no knock on Robertson, you're so used to small towns, right? Small town football. Joe Burns is a 1A program. East Robertson's a 2A program. White House Heritage is a 3A program. Well, now I'm covering 6A programs. There's so many talented players in Wilson County that I'm looking forward to meeting and being ingratiated in that community. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you get the private school taste too, not something you had previously in Robertson County. That's a fun environment to be in because you get, really there's a lot of love. That those private schools appreciate, those schools appreciate the coverage, and you get some really good talent along the way. FCS has had some great talent, great coaches over the past couple of years.
I'll say the one thing I've learned is I'll see a lot of John McNeil. He seems like he coaches everything over there at Friendship Christian, but he called me yesterday, and we're just going over, you know, the Wilson County Magazine stuff that we're doing. Looking forward to doing that. And he's like, buddy, anytime you need me, just call me. You know, so I feel the love. This Sunday we're going to have a little banquet for Tommy at Cumberland from 2 to 4, where we kind of celebrate him. And, you know, I can't imagine how many people are going to come and show their appreciation for what he does. I mean, if there's anybody deserving of all the flowers and accolades and support that Tommy has gotten ever since his retirement, it's him. You know, so I'm looking forward to that. And just, like I said, I'm never going to be Tommy, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of continue to replicate what he's done and grow our base in Wilson County and give the players and the schools everything that they deserve.
A little bit of chance for you here to let the people of Wilson County give you some grace beforehand, I think. Yeah. Because most people don't know how busy of a guy you actually are.
Very much so.
You handle refereeing throughout the season on top of your role as a...
I don't like people to know that, though. I don't like that.
Don't follow David to a game. Don't
follow me. Don't call me out.
And then you also handle the scoring for the Sounds. Is that
right? So, I mean, I think a lot of people saw last night in the All-Star game the ABS system put into place for the first time. Well, I run that here in Nashville for the Sounds, so something really cool that I get to be a part of, to say that I'm an employee of Major League Baseball and get to part of do that. Somebody who played college baseball, you know, and played baseball ever since he was 4 years old, to be able to tell people that I have a job with Major League Baseball part-time is really cool. And so to, you know, see that come true is special. Kind of mentioned how I do basketball refereeing. Yes, I do. I'm a familiar face for those.
Imagine him in stripes right now.
There you go. No glasses, though.
That is the difference.
There you go.
Our photographer back there, John Decker, has snaps and photos
seen me.
of you.
He has seen me on the court. I love to do that, though. I love basketball, and I love being a part of the community. Just got back from Atlanta, doing some college officiating, trying to get in on that side. Really cool and really special on that. I am busy. You kind of mentioned that, but that doesn't take away that I love to be at games, covering games, and kind of highlighting the stories of our athletes. Was fortunate enough to do that in Robertson County. Built great relationships with people that are going to last a lifetime, right? I kind of joke. I talk to Chance Beck or Rich Lopez at White House Heritage once or twice a day almost. Yeah. And so, you know, I enjoy building those relationships and getting to know the staffs, and so looking forward to doing that in Wilson as well.
Yeah, Wilson County, you've got a busy guy, but you've got a gem as well, and David.
Well, I appreciate that.
Part of that's kudos to me because I trained.
There you go. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
We'll kind of close on this. Is there a Sumner kind of Wilson tie-in that you're looking forward to most? Doesn't have to necessarily be football. Right. And if not, is there just a Wilson game this season that you're really excited to be a part of?
I mean, we're going to have some overlap between us all year long with basketball, you know, as well, girls on the girls and boys side. I believe volleyball as well. Yeah. So we're going to be seeing a lot of each other and helping each other out. I think I kind of mentioned that Gallatin-Green Hill game is something I definitely have my eyes on in terms of a region contest, right? Because Green Hill, obviously, you're a region champion from last year. Gallatin didn't make the playoffs. They were 3-7, and I think that Gallatin team is going to turn some heads this year. And I think they do have a really good shot of making the postseason. I really believe in that quarterback and that coach combination. Obviously, I think that Beach Green Hill, I kind of mentioned it in my piece, predicting the best contest of the year in Wilson County. I think that's going to be one of the best non-region games in the Mid-State all year. Regardless of classification, I really think that's going to be a good atmosphere at Green Hill, on the hill between Beach and Green Hill. I kind of mentioned they both have a bad taste from last year, so I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'm always looking forward to basketball as well. I think we have some really talented teams, both boys and girls, in the Wilson and Sumner County side. So I'm looking forward to it all, right? It feels like we've been on a break for a short time since spring fling, but really excited about the opportunity to work with you even more closely than what we already did. You helped me out, and I help you out. So it's kind of, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, but just really looking forward to this year and a new challenge for me.
Be sure to catch David Wilson's work for the Wilson Post, for the Chronicle of Mount Juliet, which I forgot earlier, and for the Murfreesboro Post. Time for a little bit of rambling. Close us out on Sumner County Media Days. It has been 14 and a half hours of live shows. My brain feels like jelly right now.
Yeah. Kudos to you, though. That's a lot of hard work.
Kudos to these coaches, to these players, to these assistants, to athletic directors, principals, everyone who came on this 3 days to help shed light on the programs in Sumner County. I feel like you've picked up, gleaned, a word I like to use earlier, just about anything and everything you wanted to know about these sports programs coming up and what's happening around Sumner County. Thank you to our first day team, Station Camp, for starting us off, White House for giving us the biggest crowd probably of the week, and then Liberty Creek always for their great connections. Second day, we had JP2 and some great insight from that new head coaching staff, and really excited to cover the Knights this season. Gallatin, thank you to Coach Straub, to Coach Russell, and to those coaches' kids for always giving a long-winded reporter some extra time to let out some questions and some thoughts. And for Coach Straub for challenging me sometimes when it comes to some topics that we talk about. And then to end yesterday, thank you to Coach Hunter Hicks. Speaking of long-winded, just kidding. Still, you gave me some great stuff yesterday. Really excited to cover your team this season and the Panthers. Thank you also to David Woods. Today, thank you so much to Westmoreland for fitting it into your schedule to come see us at 2 o'clock. And thank you to Ian Hafner, Ryan Harris, and the new players on that team. Looking forward to seeing what the Eagles do to follow up a quarterfinal season from last year. Thank you to Beach and Coach Crabtree for his honesty. Really some tough questions that I wasn't looking forward to asking about. You answered them all great. So thank you for not shutting me down at any step of the way. Really excited to see Jack Fuchs, to see Shelton Swafford, to see Aiden Curry and how they performed this season. Thank you to Jason Bentley for filling out our schools for the week, giving us all 10 Sumner County schools for Sumner County Media Day. Last of all, thank you to Hendersonville. James Beasley, really excited to maybe have a coach's show. Going to tease that for a second with him this fall. He really challenges me as an interviewer. And I think whenever I can get a good question out, he gives me a good answer. Really grateful for that. Thankful for those players again, for those coaches and how their development might be this year. Grateful for their honesty. And last of all, thank you, David Wilson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, John Decker. Thank you, Ginger McClendon. Thank you, Dave Gould. And last shout out to our sponsors, Birdie Bros here in Hendersonville has been a great host all week long. Be sure to check out their bays. Great food. I had the burger earlier. It's killer. Nachos aren't bad either.
The water was really good.
Yeah, the water.
Absolutely.
They
put a little lemon in there.
Stocked us up
Phenomenal.
on water this week. Each day we got a bigger canister. They were really great hosts. Our main four sponsors, K1 Speed, Volunteer Fence, The Farmers Bank, and Steve Schrum, Simply Home Realty. Can you believe I only got that wrong once this week?
There you go.
Woo! A little bit of an applause on that. Thank you to everyone for...
It's time to go, man.
It is time to go. Let's wrap it up.
There you go.
We'll see you maybe this time next year. We'll see you out on the football fields in Sumner County. Thanks for tuning in to Sumner County Media Days.